So hello. Today I'd like to take another look at a manual owner's handbook that I have in my extensive collection of old car owner's handbooks. I have to say nasally when I say I have an extensive collection of driver's handbooks, which I do like to display and show to people on occasion. When they do turn up for coffee or supper or something like that, I bring all the handbooks out and we have a look at them. I'm joking. I hope these aren't too torturous for you all, but this is quite an old one. The Austin 1800, 1 and 6, which is old, pre-decimalised money. 1 shilling and 6pence, please, sir. So there it says, there it goes, there it is. So these cars were built in Longbridge in Birmingham by the British Motor Corporation, the BMC. And the car itself looks like that. That was what it looked like. They were okay. Yeah, they were all right. You either love them or you hate them. I actually love them. Although some people referred to them as the land crab because they apparently had a little bit of trouble sticking to the road. Some say. I mean, the one I was my mate had one and that never seemed to have any trouble. But so BMC was in Cowley, Oxford as well. And this book is basically just like there's general data on that was the interior controls and equipment, as it were, on the right-hand drive. They obviously were quite popular, these cars. Got to try and help that along a bit because these old books they don't like being opened because they struggle, isn't it? And that was obviously the left-hand drive version, so they were obviously quite widely used in Europe as well. I'm not so sure if they got to the States, but perhaps they did. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen one of these cars in the United States. But, there's all the various different bits and bobs that you've got. Heating and ventilation. Sort of like the era these things are from. The 60s, you see, it's the 60s. The swinging 60s, isn't it? You can tell by the old 60s switchgear. The body, they were quite well built, these cars, very heavy, it's all very obviously very metal. I'm not so sure that's a good idea nowadays. I think that the modern cars are made of plastics because they have more crumple zones. And if you are, heaven forbid, in an accident, then basically the car just disintegrates, but saves your life, as it were, rather than in the old days the car just sort of like crumpled up around you, and you were probably wearing it for the rest of your life. That sort of thing. The last thing to go through your mind was your arsehole. But anyway, cooling system. Obviously various different solutions of antifreeze, so for various different temperatures. Back in the UK in the 60s, it was much colder than it is now. They used to get really hard winters. I remember, well, I don't remember it physically because I wasn't alive, but I remember my dad telling me about the 63 winter where there was a canal near where he worked and you could drive a car down it. It was the ice was that solid. So I've done a lot of that myself, using the spark plug gauge and setting till feeder gauges to check the gap, and then you would adjust with this tool to set the gap how you wanted it. The light. Oh, that's it. So there is European headlamp light. Obviously, because if you're driving on the opposite side of the road, the high beam is set for the particular side of the road you drive on. So if you go abroad, suddenly you're putting a full beam into someone's face on the oncoming traffic, and that's why they used to paint the headlamp glass yellow when you went abroad. And there is the headlamp glass, painting it yellow to dim it, so you wouldn't blind oncoming traffic with your lamps. But then of course you suffer the fact that you haven't got a stronger headlight anymore and you're looking to holding up a candle. I've got to be careful with these pages. I don't want to damage this little book. They're old, It doesn't seem to want to play. So, electrical equipment. A light. Oh, an interior light, I say. No, I'm joking, but in those days they were very Spartan. Basic things were Spartan, more Spartan, of course they were. Engine and transmission, transmission. You know what I'm trying to say. Transmission. That's how to say that, isn't it? Carburetor, adjustments, things like that. It's your standard fare, really, for the manuals that I get. I do like looking at these, though. I don't know why. I sort of often wake up with one of them. It's still in on my lap, sort of thing. You know. That's a great advert for them, isn't it? You know, they're not that boring. Obviously, just fall asleep reading it. You know. But oh, this is quite interesting. I think this is hydroelastic suspension, which was a pneumatic, no, hydraulic suspension. You had to fill the reservoir with hydraulic fluid, and there's one of the bleed nipples for it. Well, it says there, so if you want to read about that, you're welcome. But the funniest thing was with these cars is that if that failed, then the car would sit pissed to the one side. And of course, often it was to the side of the driver for some reason, and it looked like there was an immensely grotesquely large person driving the car, and hence why it was sort of tipped to one side. But oh, wiring diagram. There you go. For those of you that understand that, body attention, whatever that is, regular care of the bodywork. So there you go, another of these manuals. And that's recommended lubricants. They do have a rather nice smell, I must say. Yes, they do. It's that 60s paper that smells really cool. So anyway, all the very best. If you've got this far, you're nuts, of course, and you can have you're welcome to a raisin. If you're a nut, you're welcome to a raisin. But no, seriously though, bless you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks ever so much. All the very best wishes. Cheers.